Alright, Bant Flash. For people that are newer to Magic, Flash in a deck name explicitly refers to the keyword on these creatures. So, Angel of Grace, Frilled Mystic, these are creatures that flash in on their own. Vivien, Champion of the Wilds, is a card that gives our other creatures flash, so it allows Hydroid Krasis, which is a good card in the format, to have flash. Time Warp alongside Frilled Mystic and Angel of Grace and Hydroid Krasis just seems absurd. Just like, wipe the board, pick my good creatures back up. Like, that sounds truly wonderful. Wilderness Reclamation is just okay in a fair shell, especially when we have Chemister's Insights and Frilled Mystics and other counterspells, so let's see how it goes. This might be a steaming dumpster fire, but otherwise, let's try it. What deck shot us up that high? Well, we've been going between like 100 and like 99% basically every day on stream, and then we hit a good run with Mardu Aristocrats this morning, and that shot us up. And we're finally close enough to the cutoff that I think we could sit on it. The problem is Reclamation doesn't actually play that many spells per turn. I think a lot of the time, Reclamation, Damping Sphere is only going to add 1 or 2 mana to it, which isn't enough. If you're in blue, I think 3 mana Narset is a great hate card for Nexus. It stops them from drawing extra cards, which is nice. The first thing after I'm done streaming is I cut up all the decks and put them up on my YouTube channel. Because you're actually a subscriber, you can go back and watch my past videos now. So if you can click into today's stream on the past archives while I'm still live and find the zombies video or whichever one you'd like to watch. Or alternatively, you can wait until I publish the highlights. YouTube takes a little bit longer because everything has to process from Twitch onto YouTube. So I'm probably going to be streaming for at least another 3, maybe even 4 hours. So things probably won't be live on YouTube till 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. This is my Hexproof Dork. There are many like it, but this one is mine. I think, so one of the things you have to understand about hate cards for good combo decks like the Reclamation deck is a lot of people talk about cards like Teferi and they say, oh, is this not enough? And it's not enough on its own, but that's why the Reclamation deck is good. The thing that's key to know about beating the Reclamation deck is you're basically never going to beat the Reclamation decks with one card. You need multiple cards and pressure to win the game. So the new Teferi is a card that's good against the Reclamation decks in conjunction with other cards that actually allow you to win the game. What do you use to cut up the videos? The Twitch has a built-in video editor. Alright, kill my thing. Liliana's Triumph. I think this card's pretty bad in general, but it's kind of okay against decks like ours that are low on threats. I think a lot of the decks in the format where you want creature removal, they tend to have lots of extra little creatures, but our deck definitely doesn't. We've actually not really played with Arkbow yet on stream. The next time we get back to Green-Red Pig, that's definitely going to involve Arkbow, though. Card seems really sweet. Alright, what are we doing? Well, I mean, they know about this Absorb, so... No, Twitch lets me directly export to YouTube. That was an Aces draw. Lets me untap 2 lands and still hold Absorb up. That's like, the game is like likely over from here. In fact, I'm gonna pay 2 life and start attacking them for 2. I have this other Absorb to protect Teferi here, which is great. And then hopefully Teferi's gonna propel me into like Frilled Mystics and other things that'll let me win from here. Yep, don't care about that one. I think getting into the trials is a fine card to play in Modern Control. I think it's a card that allows you to be proactive, which is good. Now, I don't think Frilled Mystic is good enough for JAC in Modern. Just makes you too slow. It's no Sylvan Caryatid. It's close, but no cigar. What are the odds this Blast Zone kills my Teferi? Probably not. This ult's probably. Although I guess they can add multiple counters per turn. So they could crank this to 4, this goes to 7, they can crank this to 5, this goes to 8, they could kill it. It's gonna take them a lot of mana, but this can actually kill my Teferi before it ults. This is the 3rd Teferi plus. Which is usually about the time you get back to the time of no return. I mean, they have Blast Zone here, to be fair. Howdy, Karn. Good afternoon. I mean, getting into the Trials emblem isn't really a house versus burn. I think that's overstating it. It's like gain 3 versus burn, which is like okay. But I think a house is overstating by a good deal. Quickly. Now, Vivien's down tick is not amazing in this deck. There's definitely not a ton of hits. And I don't want to play this turn because I would like to be able to hold up Frilled Mystic and Absorb. Oh, it does have flash, doesn't it? That's so great. Sorry, new cards. Viv giving Paradise Druid Vigilance is also kind of a soft combo, right?
Suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
For the fallen.
She makes Hydroid Krasis instant speed, Renagash. Which, tapping out for Hydroid Krasis is often awkward. But the card's so powerful that you definitely want to play it. Maddie Jax, thank you for the 2-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Seal Away is probably not very useful here. Angel of Grace seems not particularly good. Carnage Tyrant sounds excellent. I assume they're controlling, but like they also had, they could be more of a mid-range deck maybe too. Time Wipe sounds medium. What do we think of this? You need 2 expansions and then another spell to target with the expansion. Yeah, this is fine. It's like turn 2 Druid, turn 3 Wilderness Reclamation. Should Negates be 2 to 3 copies of Veto? Not necessarily. Remember, like, so for instance, you know, Negate's castable off of these 2 lands. So while Veto's more powerful, it is less castable, technically. Especially, like, because Angel of Grace is a card I'm playing too, there's spots where, like, I might not have triple white, but I could have 7 mana plus Angel with Negate. That's unfortunate. I guess I knew they were playing that card. Maybe that's a reason to pass with Growth Spiral up. They have, like, Thief here. I'm in a lot of trouble. Snuffles, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Welcome back, Mediocre Magician. Hopefully we're helping you alter that username eventually. Hey, LP. Thanks for that hot Twitch Prime. Welcome back. I think I'm just playing Drago here. I don't think there's any reason to jam Reclamation into a 3-mana counter. I like have Absorb here, so like if they tap out for something, I like counter their thing on tap, play Reclamation. I'm not that far off of like Reclamation plus Absorb, right? I think about 6 is a 7 mana already. Now, the fact that they hit some land drops here does mean they could potentially have double counter next turn, which is maybe a little scary. And they know about this Absorb. So if they have a counter spell here, which they might, we might just see them. Like, take my thing, counter my other thing, yep. I just want to say that people who thought the London Mulligan would lead to Tron Spring, take a seat, humans has your back. So, something that I actually haven't talked about that's important to note with the data, if you're being objective from the Mythic Championship, is that the hypothesis of that the London Mulligan was going to help linear decks be better, something that is also true from London is that knowing your opponent's deck list is much better for fair decks than it is for unfair decks. So while the London Mulligan could be helping unfair decks, the fair deck certainly got propped up a little bit in London by that change. I think is important to note. That felt pretty good. Vivien, grab my thing, play my Reclamation, untap my lands. I think I just let this happen. I think I'm saving this for an actual threat. Like, there's no guarantee that Vivien's gonna even draw another card, so. It feels bad if I draw, like, exactly Hydroid Krasis, but it's not the end of the world. I should technically float mana during my end step. So that way, if they do something that I need to counter, I can play the other one on their turn still. So it's just strictly optimal to float mana here. Howdy, Matthew. In fact, I think if they Chemister's Insight, I'm going to counter this. Just, like, get pressure in play and, like, get a 2-for-1, basically. 3-for-1. That's, like, countering their draw 2 and leaving a body behind. Yeah, the other thing is, the Mythic Championship's a split format event. So, like, just looking at the modern data is not a good thing to be doing either. Should have played the one from hand to protect against discard. That's super true. That's a good thing to catch. Thank you. Dredge is an unfair deck. It is a combo deck. So I played the one out from under Vivien just for no reason. Alright. Slow and steady. Blast Zone has been really good for them in these games. I think we're still a little bit ahead, but like Blast Zone's definitely been the card that's like kept them in it. So this unfortunately doesn't kill them, and this Blast Zone's going to clear both of these, so hopefully we draw a Krasis here or some other form of card advantage. Because once they crack this, we're a little bit behind. JK, I have a Carnage Tyrant. It's all good. Big dumb dino coming in clutch. They have land Eldest Reborn. Oh, they could have the Liliana card, right? Nope. Rawr. Not bad, not bad, not bad. All right. It'll be interesting to see if whatever our opponent's doing, if Time Wipe is enough to help us keep up against them. Stopping around Elf implies something more aggressive. How do you go back and watch VODs for today? On the desktop, you just click the videos button at the top. I just pass here since I have this and this. Well, I appreciate it, Wafer Lord. Can't be countered this turn. You know, I'm just actually not gonna play. We're playing unranked. I'm not playing my deck full of counter spells against main deck Dummery. It's like playing against Rhythm of the Wild. It's just not gonna happen. I forgot he also hosts his counter spells, and like a deck like this is almost certainly going to be fringe in the format because of things like that. There's really strong safety valves in this format to make sure that counter spells can't be overbearing, and that relegates decks like this to having unwinnable matchups. Like, in my experience, a deck like this is going to struggle against aggro decks as is a lot of the time, and then you pair that with the fact that we can't counter their spells. It just like pushes it way over the top to make things hard for us. Choose functions differently, so you can cast Time Wipe without a creature in play. Choose and target differentiate. The most important thing to note about the difference between choose and target is not only can you not blow the spell out by removing the only option, but choose also lets you pick up things you can't target. So like you could choose something that has Shroud, or that's an opponent's hexproof thing, for instance. I just think Settle Wreckage as a whole, Bright Star, is not very good in the format, and that's one of the reasons why I stopped playing this deck to begin with. It is a neat dilemma, but basically the decks either have ways to hose it with Siren Storm Tamer in their main deck, or they have cards that allow them to like leverage the extra mana really well. Yeah, I agree, Luke. Like when I played a bunch of like Teamer Flash back in the day, you had Yeva to block things with and Wolfear Avenger, and the creatures in this deck are just not the same. Oh, Brown Fox Scout. I forgot about that card, man. That card was like my spirit animal in Hex. just everything I wanted to do. Such an elegant design. Alright, I think I'm just going to Krasis for 4 here. Yeah, it was a 3-2 with Flash. That when it was on top of your deck, it flipped itself over and you could play it off the top of your deck. And because Hex was one of the digital-only card games, so it knew when it was on top of your deck to flip itself over. But it didn't have lands. Do we need to play an event? Maybe we need to play an event. Alright, let's lock into an event. We had been having good luck playing the unranked queue for a while there. Couple of rancid matches in a row though. Is Parhelion the 8-drop vehicle? If so, no. I mean, you're streaming any more champions soon? Probably not this week or next week. When some of the hype dies down around the new Magic set, I'll probably fit a little bit that in because I like it, but for the time being, all of my stream time will be going to Magicals. That's like Magic Christmas Landmarkov. Well, my opponent AFK'd through their turn. That is Vigilance, so I guess we'll absorb that. Delta, thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Oh, manual tappers. You are the worst.
How this thing goes is
Second vigilance threat in a row feels a little bad.
Puppies whine less than you.
Ever since they did the thing where they give you more with the purple heart, Twitch has only been giving me 5 pennies to give. I think that kind of makes sense, T-Dub. least I get to seal that one away. This was backwards, right? If they would have sent the 2/2 at me, I'd have taken 1 more point of damage. Here, we've been playing against a ton of Nexus since the new set dropped, Nemesis. I think the Nexus deck is arguably the existing deck that gained the most from the new set with Tamiyo. Bye, friends. Yeah, Delta, for sure. And this is... I'm being reminded why I stopped playing this archetype last season. Just... Seal away lines up awkward. People randomly can't be countered spells in their deck. There's just a lot of things that have to break our way to, like, not be incredibly sad while playing this. Yeah, the new Narset's very good because it acts as a hate card for opposing control and Nexus decks too. Anima, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. What's my pick for my favorite deck so far now that's War's out? Either the Steamkin deck or the Black-Green Citadel deck. As always, if you head on over to my website and click videos favorites, you can always find my favorite deck from each day up there. What are your thoughts on a Jeskai Feather deck with Dive Down? That question's a lot more complicated than that. Because there's a lot more that goes into it than just Dive Down and Feather, right? So the devil's in the rest of those details there as to whether or not it sounds good or not. Why would Narset see play in Modern? What does that card do there? It's like, I've heard people talking about the new Ashiok in Modern, and I'm like, the same Modern where Rest in Peace can be too slow? Like, people are crazy. Man, there's 4 Hydroid Krasis in this deck, right? Because we are, like, really bad at drawing them. The Citadel deck was fine today. Its Wilderness Reclamation matchup maybe needs some extra help. I don't know. I'd have to play it more. We played against Reclamation a lot, which was really tedious. We unfortunately made changes to the deck to make it better against aggro and then didn't play against any aggro, which is, again, one of just, like, a generic reminder that, like, testing random against random decks on Arena, like, isn't really good testing. It's not an efficient use of your time, right? 'Cause you're just, like, rolling the dice hoping to play against the matches that you want to try out. Yeah, Ashiok has a static ability on top of Rip, but like, again, that static ability comes down on turn 3, and once people understand that that card's in your deck, they're going to prioritize using your fetch lands. So I'm assuming Ashiok's going to be a fan favorite for a lot of people, because Ashiok with that type of effect is the type of card that's going to allow you to punish bad players with a good amount of consistency. But good players who understand what's going on in your deck and things are supposed to be playing around, that card's going to be super marginal at best. Hydroid Krasis, please. Narset plus Teferi's puzzle box. Yep. Alright, it's my last one. I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. So if we can find a Krasis, we get to draw 4.
Let's tear this place.
3 more shots at Krasis. Alright, at least it wasn't a miss. at least it wasn't a miss. I think I'm just down ticking this Vivien to try and find a Krasis again.
Have you ever lost a home?
Alright, I mean, like, the rest of these go on the bottom. Like, I guess I shouldn't complain because we're winning. There's like 6 cards that aren't Krasis on the bottom, so through 31 cards. What's the point of the 1x Dovin vetoes in this deck? So, one of the things you need to think about when you're playing interactive decks in Magic is that a one of, like, Dovin's veto isn't really a singleton, so much as it's like we're playing 2 Absorb. So think of Absorb and Dovin's veto as 3 slots for counter spells in my main deck, and in some positions Absorb is much better, and in other positions Dovin's veto is much better, so we kind of hedge our bets by splitting the difference. So situationally we'll be better in some spots, and situationally we'll be better in others. That card's actually going to kill me if I don't counter it, so I guess we'll counter it. Yeah, when you have colorless lands in play. Did you sideboard out Krasis? This is game 1. Iceman, thanks for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Stop manually tapping your lands. Stop. I'm growing old and dying while they manually tap their lands, chat. Alright. 4 Krasis, 26 cards. Let's do it. 4 Krasis, 25 cards. Let's do it. Oh, yeah. All right. I should have been ready for this. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. All right. GG. Garga, thank you for the 4-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Krasis in our deck. Manually tap for your Krasis to send a message. Listen, I don't hate myself for you all that much, okay? Well, we're not currently playing on the ladder. Alright, Baffling End, Lyra's, Canopy. I just found out apparently I had Amazon Prime. Well, God bless. God bless Amazon Prime. Pays my mortgage. What else do I want to trim here? Tux, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Think I'm just trimming some of my top ends here. We need more Squadron Hawks. I have played Growth Chamber Guardian this archetype before. Opponent who manually taps, also being very deliberate while sideboarding. Could new Teferi plus Banefire be good in a Reclamation deck, or would that just be overkill and unstable? That sounds worse than just playing Expansion Explosion like the other decks do. Are you in the casting business? Yeah, exactly. So you understand. This is a pretty easy mulligan. Angel of Grace is non-foil, so we can definitely get a 7-card foil hand. Wow, this is ugly. Punished with the 2 foil opener. Thanks for showing up to class up the joint, Lyra. I appreciate you. $5 donation gets you any foil. Or 2 commons. This hand's not really that slow. I've got a ramp spell on too. Just need to run off like 2 to 3 lands here will be in a good spot. Step 1. Wait, it didn't untap all my lands, chat. Known bug. Woof. Century, thank you for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. You got him. go. Now get me out of this chat, mods. We got you. Seal Away is incredibly good against Swiftblade. You are not wrong. I'm going to leave these in play because hopefully we're going to draw a land next turn and then we'll go Lyra into Angel of Grace with this Reclamation. This is my 5/5 and you've already cast 2 Justice Strikes. Good luck, Godspeed. Jay Hurst, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. You know, John, that's true. Wilderness Reclamation, maybe they're leaving it legal because it boosts numbers on Twitch. Because, like, if Reclamation was banned, less people would have time to, like, watch Magic and play Magic at the same time because they'd spend so much time playing instead of waiting for the Reclamation players to play. They might be on the next level leaving it legal. Vicarian, thank you very much for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Any second now. Is the rope gone? Where's the rope? Am I disconnected or are they roping? I can't tell. Am I disconnected? I might be disconnected. All right, I'm going to reload just in case. I'm going to come back and be, like, dead. And be incredibly disappointed. These people are great by their stuff. These people all so great by their stuff. Can I not rejoin now? Is that what's happening? I think I don't have any. It said timeout used, but I don't think it was my timeout. I don't think it was my timeout. Yeah, they're down to 0 timeouts. Weird. Maybe I wasn't disconnected. Shang, thanks for the 3-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, it looks like the animation just wasn't going for some reason. Weird. Alright, so they're either having a major connection issue or they're just intentionally roping us. No, they're mousing over cards. Gobble, gobble. Well, I did switch to playing in a constructed event, which makes this pretty serious business. There's like gold on the line and stuff right now. Did you get sick in the 3 hours I was gone? I've been sick all weekend. My plague carriers got me sick over the weekend. Gambling is more competitive. Yeah, something. Ask your boss for a sick day. If we weren't in one of the highest popularity points for content for Magic, I probably would take a day or two off, but I'm not feeling bad enough to take a day off while content's at its highest or most popular. I mean, so chat, I'd like to address the chat master's comment there. I enjoy the competitive aspect of you playing in these events versus crushing people's fun jank decks in the casual queue. Do you know what we played against in the casual queue today? We played against mono Wilderness Reclamation decks and random Esper control decks and like Girl Warriors. We played against nothing but real decks in the casual unranked queue. Do you know what we've played against in this so far? My last opponent had like draft cards in their deck. So, in my experience so far, this has been less competitive. We stopped playing in the casual queue because I had a couple people disconnect in a row on me or like leave after the first game. So like, that's less likely to happen in this queue, which is nice. But I think this idea that like this is randomly more competitive is some hot nonsense. And again, just like Bant removal, just like really sucks. Can't kill a Beast Whisperer, can't kill a Hostage Taker. Did Mono Red up and die in best of 3? No, it's just not so much better than everything else that you need to play it. Have a good one, Captain Buckles. Yeah, that's probably the plan, right? The plan is probably attack for 4, Angel's Grace, don't kill me, Angel's Grace, don't kill me. Which is the nice thing about this deck when your removal doesn't line up well, right? Like, we have this proactive plan that sometimes comes together, which might be a reason to have 4 Angel Grace in my deck. I'm actually only playing 3 in this configuration. There's just too much interaction in this format, Dallas. So, like, this format is basically decks that kill you before Beast Whisperer is relevant, or if they can't kill you before Beast Whisperer is relevant, they have lots of ways to kill Beast Whisperer. You are incredibly slow on the uptake, Bob. Yeah, this is gonna let us race successfully, though. Bob opened my eyes. The last red-white deck looked like the one you get with the Twitch Prime loot. Okay, I actually haven't looked at that deck list. That would probably make sense. Wow, I'm glad I have another Angel of Grease here.
Every fight makes me stronger. Sometimes rest. Ha! I've seen worse. Meet my newest friend.
Now I get to kill them with Ox, which is a strictly superior way to kill my opponent. Definitely want my flyers. Baffling End's probably fine. This probably isn't good. I don't really have good ways to protect my planeswalkers. They probably come out. Yeah, that's probably it. Maybe I should bring in the Disdainful Stroke because it tags Beast Whisperer. I can see that being reasonable. This seems fine, right? How do I think this deck compares to the Bant mid-range deck I played a little bit ago? I think it's much worse. I think this archetype leaves a lot to be desired. I think it's trying to be interactive in a set of colors that isn't really designed to be very well interactive in this format. So I think a more proactive approach, like the mid-range deck that we played last time, is a little bit better. There's too many random things that Seal Away doesn't get, or Baffling End misses, or just lots of little things like that that leave you in a bad spot. Nah, Nemesis. I don't know. Stuff like that doesn't really make for, like, repeatable content that a lot of people are going to go back and watch later, in my experience. And, like, I'm lucky enough that, like, my deck queue doesn't really have a shortage of people putting things into it, so I don't really need a different shtick to, like, try and monetize. Even when we were running out of standard decks at the end of last season, I had, like, my queue had stuff in it through the end. They did not see Time Wipe Game 1. Yeah, the removal in these colors is not stellar. Definitely the toughest takeaway. Alright, so I think I'm going to Frilled Mystic here. And then I'm going to Angel of Grace, end of turn, untap Lyra, attack for 6, gain 6. Transmogrifying Wand actually makes this quite a bit worse for us. This means they're going to be able to kill my life-linking angel here. Maybe I'm supposed to Baffling End one of their Steel Leaf champions here. NK, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome.
Wild animals I like. People, not so much. Draw.
No, they've not posted a wrap-up on the London Mulligan, to my knowledge. Hopefully it's going to become the norm. Didn't really look like anything broke this weekend. Yeah, time wipe's kind of the out here at the moment. Well, whatever the mulligan rule is, that's the mulligan rule in all formats. So, from my understanding, they know the new mulligan rule is good for standard, and they thought that it could potentially have issues in modern, but modern's harder for them to test in-house. So that's why they did it at the Pro Tour that way. Mythic Championship, whatever they're called these days.
Not again.
What you should have heard if you were talking to people that understood how data works, under Lipics, is that Ad Nauseam had a win rate, had a sample size that made the win rate that it had kind of irrelevant because the sample size was nowhere near large enough to be relevant. Alright. Bye, friends. Yikes. Yikes. Alright, need a Time Wipe or an Angel of Grace here. Does that mean then that they don't have enough data to base a decision about whether or not the mulligan rule helps decks like combo? Well, I mean, like, let's say this in a diplomatic way. If the people who are deciding what to do with the London Mulligan rule use only data from the Pro Tour and not the vast amounts of more data that they got from having the rule implemented on Magic Online in the last however many weeks, then I am incredibly disappointed at the lack of statistical understanding of the people that are making the decisions. I think it's silly in general to really do it at the Mythic Championship, and this Mythic Championship in general is extra silly because in addition to the London Mulligan changing, they also had public deck lists at this tournament, so like that takes everything and throws it out of whack as well. So there's a lot of issues from sample size to changing too many variables. Guess what, Chalky? Most of those pros play Magic Online. Most of the pros play Magic Online. Still a better data source. Just the raw volumes of games you get out of people playing digitally versus playing in paper, even on a slower platform like Magic Online, is night and day. I think when they cast a 3-drop here, I'm going to go Growth Spiral, Shock into Land, play Absorb. No, we don't know one way or another what's happening with the Mulligan rule as of right now. My stance on the DQ from over the weekend is the same as the judges from the event. The probability of what happening by mistake is incredibly unlikely. It is. That DQ is yet another reason the future of competitive Magic is hopefully entirely contained on Magic Arena. Allowing the competitive integrity of tournaments to be maintained by a digital client is A+. So, I didn't shock in this land because I assumed I was just going to absorb whatever they played. I forgot they could Carnage Tyrant this turn because of that. Which is really flippin' awkward. Oh, I tapped my lands wrong. God damn it. Don't be sad that someone cheating got DQ'd. Yeah, this is gonna be the last match with this one. what? Deal. Alright, look at that. Don't call it a comeback. The last MPL player who was DQ'd from a paper tournament didn't even get removed from the MPL. They were simply disinvited to the Invitational. So hopefully it's more severe than that. Mike, checking in for the second month in a row. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Here's an important thing, Ozzy. This is an important distinction for people that are new to Magic. In competitive Magic the Gathering, there is no such thing as unintentional cheating. The definition of cheating, as it pertains to Magic the Gathering, means that you are aware of the rule that you are breaking, and then you broke it to gain an advantage in the tournament that you are playing in. You cannot unintentionally cheat in Magic. Coming from, like, playing children's games growing up, a lot of people use the word cheating to imply that you just made a gameplay error or you took an action that was against the rules. In Magic, if you make a game action that's illegal, not knowing that it was illegal, that's not cheating, that's a gameplay error. And that's distincted, there's a distinction made between those things in Magic. Sure, but if a card's accidentally marked and there's not a pattern, that's still not cheating. But again, just like the words have meanings, the meanings matter. That's not cheating. Alright, yeah, we're pretty done here. Ozzy, what I am trying to bestow upon you is that the context is irrelevant, because in Magic, regardless of the context, you can never accidentally cheat. It is impossible based on the definition of cheating in the context of competitive Magic. So long as you are talking about competitive Magic, you can't accidentally cheat. As soon as it's Magic tournament, accidentally cheating is a thing that can't happen. Bant Flash. Bant Flash. To wrap on this one, there is a reason why we stopped playing this last season, and this season we didn't really get tools to make it better. So the big thing that this archetype fails to do is that this is a deck that's trying to be interactive, that doesn't have good tools to efficiently be interactive. So this archetype has to lean into its ability to counter spells, and there's decks in the format with things like Dawnbringer and things like Rhythm that say you can't counter spells, and then the removal spells that we have when things can't get countered means that things like Hostage Taker, things like Beast Whisperer in that last game, there's just too many awkward threats that things like Seal Away and Baffling End don't cover up. Firm, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Nah, stop. Settle the Wreckage is terrible. There's a reason why we don't play Settle the Wreckage in this format. The Settle the Wreckage is bad for two reasons, and we keep repeating this again and again and again. The aggro decks are either like mono blue, where they have Siren Stormtamer in the main deck to counter Settle the Wreckage proactively, or they are like red aggro or Sultai, where they have some way to leverage the extra lands that they give you. So again, I get that it's appealing to like be cheeky and do this, and Settle the Wreckage, while it's an instant, it's super restrictive on the timing. So like, you Settle the Wreckage someone, and suddenly they get their second main phase to play whatever they want, and like, you answered one hard to answer thing, but then you gave them a window to stick another, which is not profitable. Alright, do I want to try and do one more? I'm going to try and do one more. I thought I might run late today.